Thank you, Mike. As you all know, in 2017, I'm in the wrong. Was the first year of our foundation, sorry. I would like now to call on honorary president of the honorary president and the chairman of the New England PGA Foundation, Rob Jarvis, to provide us with an update on our foundation. Rob?
Not president anymore, but I see the same microphone issues are around. Before I get started, since everyone else has gone off script, I want to just give one of my whys. Not necessarily why I got into the PGA of America, but what kind of keeps me moving forward, what's pushed me over that edge. Part of it is this foundation, but a lot of it is the people that I've served with, and for those of you that have come to me or on over the last few years, it really has been kind of a boost for me. I mean, this has been such an amazing group. They're constantly thinking of new ideas and innovation and different things for you. You could see Vice President Belden got emotional about it, and that's how much it means to all of these guys. So that's a unsolicited why for me, that it's my PGA membership is a benefit. So what I'd like to do today is I'm going to give you our first kind of real foundation report. We've obviously touched on it in the past couple of years, but today is a good day. We have a lot to share with what's coming up. In the past few months, the Foundation Committee and Section Board of Directors have spent many hours planning for the 2018 season, and I'm here today to present the exciting things we have already begun implementing for this coming year. One of our main goals for the winter season was to finalize the application process and the criteria for our PGA member grants. We've mentioned this before, how they're very similar to the former chapter development grants, but much improved. The new application is currently on the foundation website, which can be accessed right through our NEPGA.com. You can see it on your screen. It's a fillable PDF now, so it's a lot easier. It's one document. We already have several that have been sent in, which is very exciting. The Foundation Committee and the Board of Directors have approved $15,000, which is distributed through our chapters in $2,500 increments. Some of you are already aware of the process, but some things have changed, so I just want to clarify that moving forward. The first deadline for submission is May 1st. Each chapter is initially allocated $2,500. After May 1st, any unallocated funds will be open until August 1st, which means it can go to any chapter, all in one chapter or spread out, depending on how it comes. The program or request must be in line with the Foundation's mission of improving lives through the game of golf and satisfy at least one of the Foundation's 3 pillars of military, youth, or diversity and inclusion. There must be some sort of charitable component associated with the program. The Foundation Committee will review all applications and recommend funding to the section BOD. There are also, what you can't see on this screen, but I urge you, before you even apply for a grant, there are some conditions of acceptance. They're simple things. We want pictures, we want videos, we need stories to tell, we need the public and the world to see these great programs that you are running so we can continue it, so we can have new partnerships that help fund these things. An example of a grant, some people have asked me a couple of different things, would be, maybe even if you had a for-profit junior program, but you wanted to scholarship 10 kids, okay? You'd be eligible to apply for a grant to bring maybe a group that might not have access to golf, okay? Those are the type, or you're going to start a diversity and inclusion program. That's one of our goals. Give back to the PGA professional, enable them to create new programs, or can just continue existing programs that support the Foundation mission. We all know the NEPGA Foundation cannot simply write checks to our members, but through this grant process, we will hope to grow which we hope to grow, we can identify ways for our members to create opportunities. If you're considering applying, we urge you to do so well before the deadline. This will give us a little bit of time to review your application, come back to you and say, hey, we need a little bit more on this, we need some more financial information. So when it does go to committee, we have what we need and your program doesn't potentially get stalled as a result. So please, I know you see the May 1st deadline, try not to send them in on the 30th, okay? We certainly will still take them, but we'd appreciate getting them a little bit early. On to junior golf. All of our junior programs are now under the umbrella of the NEPGA Foundation. These include PGA Junior League, Drive, Chip, and Putt, the NEPGA Junior Tour, and the Cape Cod Junior Tour. I'm excited to announce that this winter, we've partnered with the Maine State Golf Association to administer all of their former Junior Tour events in Maine. The Maine Junior Tour events will now be NEPGA Junior Tour events. This not only expands our geographic reach, but it helps grow our brand and further promote the NEPGA professional at our facilities. This year, Junior Tour members will also be able to fundraise on their own CrowdRise page. All of the money raised by the kids will go toward Junior Tour scholarships. Kids raising money for kids. Every junior that raises $300 or more will receive a free NEPGA Junior Tour logoed golf bag. I wish the kids well in their efforts, and I hope to see tons of bags littering our first tees at our golf clubs. Slide. No. We got some slides out of order. So we'll come back to a couple of Junior Tour things. PGA Hope. The NEPGA Foundation's largest initiative for 2018 is the introduction of 4 PGA Hope New England programs. Being the son of a combat veteran and the grandson of a prisoner of war, I'm especially proud that we are launching these very important programs this summer. And I'd like to share with you a video that has given us some of the inspiration for this programming.
Across the United States, brave men and women have answered the call. They have sacrificed. And they have done their duty honorably. Now as they return home, it's our duty to look after them. Our mission as Americans must be to ensure their continued support and well-being. We are here for you as you've always been here for us.
My PTSD when I came home in 2010 was pretty bad. Mine was because I've been in combat so much and all the things that I've done. Now you come into civilian life and there's so much disorder, so much chaos. I was angry at everybody. I felt like I was a burden on a lot of people. It just seemed at the time it would be easier to take yourself out of the picture.
After the accident, I was unable to live on my own. My manhood was gone. I was shut down. I was in bed, depressed, and just mad at life. You start fighting a lot of demons. It's really tough to get out of that bed and face the world.
You start to learn how to transition yourself back. But I still had a lot of triggers and I still had a lot of problems, and I didn't have an outlet.
I seek therapy. They told me I needed to get out more and do more and be more involved, be more active.
The one thing that we're missing in civilian life, where do we fit in again?
PGA Hope program, that is the perfect name for this program, helping our patriots everywhere. Golf can be and will be the bridge to helping these guys heal.
They're battling inner demons that we hope that maybe we can help erase it for a time, forever, but maybe just for the couple hours they're on the golf course, that maybe that gives them a little bit of time away from the things that they're battling inside.
I found an escape, just escape it all.
You know, this little thing is the most frustrating thing you have ever met. But when you hit it the right way, it's amazing.
The program that they've signed up for is a 6-week adaptive golf program, you know, healing through golf.
Belonging to something more than you, that's our safety zone. We can just be ourselves. And now we have a team. Getting the word out to young soldiers who are coming home. Here is an awesome outlet. It doesn't matter where you served. If you wore the uniform, they want to help you.
It's just amazing, the fact that these pros give. I can't believe it.
It's a sport that keeps us healthy, that keeps us focused, and that gives us a place to belong. We're not hopeless.
I never played golf before this accident. It was like the best decision I've ever made. I refuse to stay in bed. I want to be out. I want to be active.
It takes a nation to heal our veterans. Now it's our turn to fight for you, to offer every chance for a healthy and successful life. Thank you to our veterans for your service. You make us all so proud.
I'm having so much fun now, and I am really enjoying my life.
It was very moving for me. We saw that in Austin, Texas at the annual meeting, and the last gentleman who was the one that had the golf ball, I never found out his name, resonated with me on a level that I was shocked, to be honest with you, because he reminded me of my grandfather. My grandfather returned after 429 days as a prisoner of war. He had no outlet. There was no outlets back then. There were no veterans programs like PGA Hope back then. And he found some outlets when he returned. They weren't the greatest of outlets, and they negatively impacted other people's lives. And when I saw this gentleman, and I said, you know, if we can provide an outlet, we can be that key. People like my grandfather might have had the opportunity to change their lives and not gone through some of the things they did when they returned after serving their country. So I am extremely proud that we are pushing forward with this. It is something that we hope to expand throughout New England. We have 4 golf courses: Atkinson, Hanover, Bangor Municipal, and Braintree. They're going to evolve some existing programs into our PGA Hope New England programs. And the way that it works out is these are typically 6-week programs with an instructional component. It's free to the veterans. And you don't have to be a combat veteran, okay? I think that's a misnomer that a lot of people, and sometimes veterans, sometimes if they're not a combat veteran, they can be sheepish about getting involved in these things. that certainly isn't the case. So we have 6 weeks of instruction, and then we try and get them on the golf course and have maybe a Tuesday night league where they all come out and they play 9 holes. The foundation is going to cover the cost of this, up to $4,000 for each PGA Hope program. Watch our social media, our website. We're really going to be trying to drive this message home because I think it's going to be something great that comes out of New England. Next thing I'd like to talk about is our scholarships, changing gears totally. So scholarships are now in the Section Foundation, as you know. As part of our desire to increase both the availability and dollar amounts of scholarships awarded, we have voted that 10% of all unrestricted donations are now contributed to the scholarship program. So this is another great member benefit. Comes back to your children, stepchildren, grandchildren. So I'm really proud that we were able to do this. Some of the programs that you heard about earlier this morning, 10% is going to go right to the scholarship fund. We are also currently taking a look at our the criteria for the scholarships. We haven't done much with that in a number of years. We've got some ideas circulating around through the committee. Nothing yet that we want to dangle out there, but we are looking at changing some things to make this an even better member benefit and give more kids access to having an NEPGA scholarship. So look for that information coming over the summer season. Keep your eye on your emails and your social media. Okay, fundraising. Last thing I want to talk about is our 2018 fundraising campaign. We heard about some of the stuff we did in 2017. 2018 is going to be a little different. Last year we conducted Pro-Am tournaments in each of our chapters that would in part benefit the NEPGA Foundation. They were all successful in some manner, but some logistical issues were difficult to manage. This year we're going in a different direction. In 2017, NEPGA Secretary Mike Bradshaw created an online auction of golf packages donated by our PGA facilities in Rhode Island in lieu of having a chapter Pro-Am. The Rhode Island chapter raised $6,400 with Mike's vision and the support of Rhode Island PGA professionals, and of course, all the folks bidding on the auction items. As a result of this success, we're currently gathering golf packages throughout New England to create one large auction. Our chapter operations managers and district directors have already gathered dozens of packages, and the list keeps growing thanks to the generosity of our member clubs and NEPGA professionals. And I believe we've got some of the clubs listed here on the slide. There it goes. They're rolling in fast, so for all of you who have donated already, we appreciate it. For some of you, this is the first time you're hearing about it. So we have included a donation form that should have been on your chairs with your paperwork. If you don't have one, please see a section staff member. If you'd like to donate, they'd be glad to help you out, and it certainly is much appreciated. Just to put things into perspective, the Rhode Island chapter's donation last year fully funds a PGA Hope program and a chapter development grant. Pretty good. Certainly Mike and everybody in Rhode Island should be congratulated on that effort. But imagine what we can do New England-wide, okay? So we appreciate any support that you can give us. A couple other fundraising things, I'll just touch on it real quick. We good? Okay. Tournament Solutions, you've heard about this. This is such a kind donation. They're very, very supportive. So if you, I know I do business with Tournament Solutions. They're a great company. If you have any needs, you reach out to them or any of our partners for sure. This is a real new initiative, the Tito's Vodka Initiative from Memorial Day to Labor Day. At participating clubs around New England, Tito's will run a drink special with $1 from each benefiting the NEPGA Foundation. So this will be contingent on whether or not your club wants to participate and gives us some data. We'll have more about that program rolling out too, but another cool and creative way to raise money for the foundation. I guess I should have got the clicker. Struggle is real. There we go. We did the junior bag golf fundraiser here. They are nice bags. Junior Tour store. Here's just some samples of what we're doing through our junior tour. You know, some kids, they like the tour logo. They want to wear the brand. We're certainly not trying to take money out of anybody's golf shop. That's why you see a very a limited array of things like hoodies and water bottles. But it's just a way for kids to show their pride. They are proud to play on the junior tour. So this is kind of a new cool offering. We're going to see how it goes and move forward. Drive, Chip, and Putt New England, I want to thank everybody for hosting in coming up in the 2018 season. You can see the list. I won't go down through all of them, but certainly we'd love to have some help. There's some added Drive, Chip, and Putt things in here this year, so if you'd like to get involved with Drive, Chip, and Putt, please see Dave McAdams or Mike Higgins. We would certainly love to have you. Is that all my slides now? Okay. It's never happened to me when I was president. Now that I'm honorary, they're mixing all my slides around, you know. I would not doubt that was you, President Bebo. So, in closing, as you can imagine, living in Maine, I've befriended several lobster fishermen over the years. Believe it or not, they're pretty passionate about their golf. But something one of them told me one day out on our deck resonated with me. Any good fishing boat captain will tell you, if you don't make it out of port, you can't drop your traps. Each port has its own pitfalls. A captain must negotiate before cruising ahead to the fishing grounds. Taking your time and slowly nudging the boat out of harbor takes concentration and planning, but sets the voyage up for success. I appreciate all of your patience as we have thrown our lines and navigated the obstacles of the NEPGA Foundation's own harbor. And I am pleased to say that in 2018, we are certainly headed out to sea where nothing but deep waters lie ahead for our foundation. Thank you, and have a great meeting.
Thank you, Rob. As you all can see, it's a daunting task, and kudos to you, Rob, and the committee for putting in the tireless effort to create this foundation, and thank you. We're going to take a 10-minute break right now. Let's go to the bathroom if you have to, take a 10-minute break, and when we come back, we're going to have our district director come up and talk to us.
Hey Steve, how you doing?
Michael, did we get any questions?
Did you get a couple? You open for a couple? Okay. Yeah, 2.5. Yeah. What'd you get? That'll make up for it. Oh, okay. Just looking at it.
I'll get him. Yeah, one of those ankle bracelets. It's
really good kid. Graduated from the college sports here. While he's looking for something, he'll be a
about
guy.
what I did. I got a plug the gap type of thing. 50-50.
This
What do you end up having?
yeah, so right. So I didn't and then back to Phil.
Oh, okay.
Chris. I had a new Chris. Chris was with me last year.
Oh, okay.
And then I did get a couple
Thanks, Jimmy. That's a compliment.
Okay, everybody, please grab your seats before President Bebo starts throwing things at you.
Come on in, everybody, and sit down, please.
I was disappointed. It's their break. Wow. Wasn't open to grind with the grind. Baseball starting off
They'll get to the Y soon.
I'm going to see you looking for
Might have to be a retraction.
All right, everybody, could you have a seat? We're going to call the meeting back to order, please.
I'll see you Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday.
Thank you all for sticking around. We are pleased here to have Noel Gabauer, our District 1 Director, with us here today. Noel is a member of the Northeast New York section and is the General Manager at the Colony Town Golf Course. Noel?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm a little disappointed because usually when I come in this direction, get closer to Boston, you guys are usually about 2 or 3 weeks ahead of us in Albany, and you look just like we do out there with some snow on the ground, just barely starting to see some grass, so hopefully it won't be long and we'll be able to get this season kicked off. Special thanks to the officers, the board, and Mike Higgins last night for spending some time. When I got in last night, we had dinner. It was a great dinner, and President Bebo, to your point of why and why I do this is for times like last night. You know, the camaraderie, getting to know fellow professionals, you know, that back and forth, the common bond that we have through the great game that we play and work in, and the great association we have. That's definitely why for me. So thank you very much for last evening. One of the things that the officers and the board and I really didn't spend a lot of time talking about last night would be, you know, how things are going in the section. We didn't talk about updates from National. And the reason we didn't talk about that is because, you know, the officers, Mike Higgins, have really set up a constant line of communication throughout the year with me, which is phenomenal. That's really important for me as I go into national board meetings to make sure that I represent you all the best that I can. I know, gosh, I think the last time I was texting Mike Higgins was like, you know, a Sunday night at 9 o'clock at night, you know, about something that, you know, was affecting the section services that National wasn't doing, and that would affect what they could provide to you. And that's great, because I need that to be able to represent you. So keep up that communication. You guys do a great job with that, for sure. Just really quickly, we'll go over a few national programs that we have out there and some national news from the PGA of America. The first thing, as Mike Higgins had touched on, PGA Perk Spot is a new program that we launched right around the time of the show, and it's really become this, you know, this benefit program that goes well beyond, you know, our partners, so to speak, where we've always had some discounts. This goes, you know, well past that. It was really designed as an employee benefit program for companies like Starbucks uses it for their employees. Well, they've turned it around and, you know, allowed us access to it. They've branded it PGA Perk Spot, and it's great. If you sign up for it, the easiest way to get there is as Mike could show you, go through pga.org, click on the tools and benefits. You'll end up finding Perk Spot. You sign up. You can pick categories that you'd like to receive notices about discounts on, and the categories are all over the place. You know, food, health and wellness, electronics, and then every week you get an email too. Just as we were on break, actually, I just had an email come through from Perk Spot, and it's got deals from Chase, H&R Block, tax products and software, tax identity shield, theme park tickets, student loan deals, I mean, and on and on. So it's Flowers, hotels, Wyndham Group hotels. I mean, it's just every week you get that, and there's some great savings for that. You also, Mike Bean, the Vice President of Northeast New York, just saved $400 on a Samsung TV better than any deal that he had found locally through PerkSpot, because he just took the time to look. So it's definitely a great program that's going to drive some tangible benefits to you that really ties into what Mike was talking about before. So again, pga.org, tools and benefits, go to PerkSpot and sign up. It doesn't cost you anything, but you can save some good money. As far as governance goes, really the only updates, we were at the show actually, and we met as a board and we continued kind of the cleanup of the Constitution. There's some things in there that are outdated. Really the only, there's two tangible changes that we made. One, we reduced the hours that you need to be eligibly employed, or the hours you have to work to be considered eligibly employed, from 36 down to 30. And the reason we did that was because there's a lot of states that have a health insurance regulation that kind of sits around 30, and a lot of members that, if their clubs didn't want to offer them health insurance, they would keep them at 30 hours, and the next thing you know, they couldn't be eligibly employed PGA members. So we moved that hour requirement down. And then a couple others were language based. Probably the one that you'll see the most and use the most would be what Secretary Bradshaw had talked about. And by the way, you did a great job with that, Mike, as far as the associate, right? We're going from apprentice professional to associate, which is the kind of traditional apprentice, and then PGA student, which will be the PGM university students. Now, that change was made because we found that professional management kind of vocations tend not to have apprentices. All right. However, I was reminded at the Northeast New York PGA meeting yesterday that Jedis have apprentices. So I'll be sure to pass that along to the National Education Committee. So you'll see that. So when you see associate, it's just the traditional apprentice line. We touched on a little bit of the new learning strategy that the PGA of America has, and really it's still in development. But what you'll see is basically it's based around lifelong learning, and the best part about it is it's driven by feedback that we've gotten from employers. And we're trying to create this education program and also a branding for all of us professionals as we go forward. We're going to try to put things into 3 silos, sort of as you go through your lifelong learning. Golf operations, teaching and coaching, and executive management. And really base the education and focus that around one of those 3. And that'll actually start even as you're an associate. After level 1, where you get your core education, and then we're going to try to track you. And not that you can't move between tracks, but it's really what the employers are saying that they want to see. And if the employers want to see it, that means it's going to drive revenue in a positive direction. So that's the direction that we're going. And then of course those 3 steps of the specialist, the certified professional, and then the master professional. The details aren't out on that yet as to what those steps will be, the qualifications you'll need to do that, and the requirements. But one thing I do know, and this is where the first certification program lacked a little bit and maybe didn't really catch on as well as it should have, is that there's going to be an experience piece to that that's going to count toward getting certified. So what you do on a daily basis, if you're really good at what you do, that's going to count toward getting your certification. All right, it's not just the book work that you're doing and the online work that you're doing. And I think that's really important because, especially for employers as well, because they were seeing people out in the field that didn't have the certification badge, but boy, they're great teachers, great golf PGA members, great golf professionals. So all of a sudden, the certification didn't mean as much because it wasn't hanging on every badge of all of the great PGA members. And going forward, we're going to try to fix that with this new program. So keep your eyes open. We'll have more details out on that hopefully after the professional championship board meeting that we'll have. And I look forward to seeing what the education committee comes up for us there, for us there. Quickly, an update on golf management universities. The PGM universities, the board has kind of standardized how you go through them now. What we found over the last couple of years is that there were different standards that each school had, but yet everybody was coming out as a PGA member or just about there. So we wanted to make sure we standardize the standards over all the 18 PGM universities, and we've done that. So we're getting to the universities with that, and they've been pretty accepting of the change, and and really trying to make sure and promote now going forward these university programs, because enrollment has been decreasing, and we'd like to see that at least stabilize, if not increase, at these universities. Journeys. We talked a little bit about Journeys earlier. You'll see a marketing campaign coming out from the PGA of America. It's going to be called PGA Journeys, and you'll see commercials on that on television, and it's going to try to combine speaking of and promoting the journeys that we take as PGA professionals through our career, and also combine that with the journeys that our players take and our students take and our members take as they try to get better at golf and work with us, to improve. So we're going to try to put those together and market that. It'll also have a business-to-business component to it through email, through the web, that's going to try to get to our employers as well, to try to send that message that way. So keep your eye out for PGA Journeys as we get going. Just briefly, I like to talk just quickly about career services. Of course, Mike Packard is here. We've changed a little bit of the focus of career services. And I shouldn't say change, but we've added to it. We've got not just are they in there for the jobs that are open and trying to help you become employed, but now we're really trying to make sure that you're happy in your job, that if you have any concerns about it, really these career wellness visits. I know in Northeast New York there's been a bunch, and they've been really successful. Here we've had Mike Packard and Mike Higgins, Larry Kelly. They've jumped out there and done about 30, 35 visits here. It's really trying to get to our PGA members before there are issues, and to really help. I mean, there's a good chance that you might be in a job right now that you don't picture yourself ending your career in. And we really want to get out there and help if you've got, goals to further yourself, in our industry. So great job with those visits. We've tasked Mike Packard, and all the career consultants with getting out in the field and going around to, try to get to everybody, to find out about you. So keep your phone on and keep your email inbox open, and take a look for that. Golf Retirement Plus, if anybody's involved with that program, what you'll see coming up probably the second quarter of this year, so coming up pretty soon, is just going to be a change in the plan administrator. PGA of America Finance Department wasn't happy with the way the old administrator was doing, so we put it out to bid, and we have a new one called VALIC is going to be coming on, and their returns have outperformed certainly who we've had over the last 3 and 5 year periods, so we're going to be changing there. Their customer service is much better, so and their cost savings in your plan is going to be much better for us. So we're certainly looking forward to that change. You'll see that again probably second quarter of this year. President Bebo talked about the secretary election coming up in November at Palm Springs. They've got a great plan. They were with me in Atlanta as we heard from all the candidates. Again, if you have any comments, know any of those candidates, have any feelings about them, please talk to your officers about that. They have a program in place where they're going to make sure that their vote will definitely benefit the New England PGA section, going forward with the right candidate to represent us. So again, they're going to hear from the candidates all summer. They'll be calling them and be getting updates, so there'll be a lot of information, and as you said, very similar to the other sections in District 1. We're not jumping out and really getting on board with anybody early because we don't have a District 1 candidate this time around, so we can really take our time and listen to the candidates, what they have to say, and the benefits that, and how they see the PGA of America going forward. Port St. Lucie, of the PGA properties, that's probably the one that most of us are all familiar with, concerned with at times, for sure. We've just finished the Ryder Course green renovation. They were a little firm this winter, if any of you have been down there, but I played it, and they came out beautiful. That finishes up kind of the three-course rotation of the improvements that were done down there. with the Die in the Wanamaker, and the clubhouse had investments to it. So the PGA of America has really invested a lot of money in the PGA Golf Club itself over the last 5 years or so. It's a much better product than it has been in the past. You know, if you get a chance, please go down and utilize it. There's a membership sales piece to it now, and that's thriving. You may have heard that we've got St. Lucie Trail, which is the old PGA Country Club on the other side of 95, and also the Learning Center. We actually have them on the market because they are financially really underperforming. And, you know, we really haven't had any bites yet, or anybody that was serious about it, probably because for the same reasons why we have a tough time running it even at a small loss. So we do have them on the market. There's nothing to report yet on that. But we'd really like to make sure that it doesn't take anything away from the PGA Golf Club. We really want to, you know, make sure the PGA Golf Club, we might even take some of the monies, if we can get a sale there, take some of the monies and really enhance what goes on at the PGA Golf Club, bring some of that Learning Center functionality over, you know, there, so that, you know, the members aren't really missing out on anything at that point. So we are excited about the future of PGA Golf Club for sure. And then one final thing, before I wrap it up, is I guess some good news. The National Golf Foundation had a representative that came in and talked to us at our planning session down in Palm Beach Gardens last month. And generally their news has tended to be sort of negative about rounds of golf being down and so on and so forth. But this year it really wasn't. They took a positive spin on it. Just a couple of statistics from them that we thought that were great was that you know, 2.5 million people played on the golf course for the first time in 2016. Right, so that surpasses the record set back in 2000. The female participation is up 16%. In junior golf, diversity is growing. 33% of juniors are female, and 27% are non-Caucasian. Right, so that's going to hopefully give golf a different look going forward if we can keep perpetuating that. And then good things for the industry. Investment in golf is really strong right now. There was $3 billion across the United States had been invested in renovations to golf courses and golf clubs, you know, and golf facilities. So that's, you know, you don't invest into a business that's going on the downslide. All right, so that is a really strong number. So that's we're really excited about that. You know, we did have lower rounds in 2017, but just about all of that was, if not all of that, was weather related. I mean, we all know how the weather was here last year. It was like that all through the Northeast. We had all the, you know, the hurricanes in Florida, you know, the fires out west. It was a really difficult and trying year for the golf industry that way, and we're really looking forward to a better 2018. So that, anybody have any questions or anything you'd like to say? Yeah, Jim.
No, what about the potential move to Austin?
Potential move to Austin. It would be
okay, I'm not
Texas. Yeah. That had hit the news maybe about a month ago or so, right? And one of the things that we've been doing on the board is we've been looking at renovating headquarters. Renovating it, moving it, it needs to be different. It's not functional anymore as it sits in Palm Beach Gardens. So, you know, we've gone through over the course of the last couple of years, we've gone through, you know, looking at some different areas, you know, in Palm Beach Gardens, in Florida. We've had Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, which is, I think, is, you know, the one that's probably come up as being the maybe the one that's been the most aggressive in trying to court us, you know, to come there. We are really far away from doing anything right now with that. They have presented a lot of incredible ideas and incredible financial packages to us, or at least said that they were going to be incredible. So the process now, we've tasked the staff with doing the due diligence to really sort that out and to make sure that what they're saying is true. And if it is, then I think that's something that we absolutely have to consider. We'd be crazy if we didn't. But we're also looking at Palm Beach Gardens at different locations there too. So it's, you know, those are probably the two front runners in terms of headquarters, but we do need a better facility for sure. And, you know, if included a golf course or two with it, I think that would be great too. I mean, there's nothing like seeing the headquarters of one of the best golf organizations in the world at a championship golf course like St. Andrews has, you know, with the R&A sitting right there. You know, so, you know, you think about that, it's like, oh, okay, that would be really neat for the PGA of America to hold PGA championships right at its headquarters location, right? So, there's a lot of really great things in the, it's interesting because it's hit the news, because, you know, I work for a municipality, and Frisco, Texas is a municipality, so nothing is, you know, they get excited, they get overexcited. You know, the people with the city might come out and say, hey, you know, we've been meeting with the PGA, we're offering them this, I think they're coming. And then it gets out to the press, and then all of a sudden it says, well, we're moving to Texas. Well, that's not certainly, it may happen, but that we're really far away from that point yet. Great question. Anybody else? All right. Well, with that, thank you very much for having me. Again, as usual, if you have any questions, comments about anything that's going on with National, certainly reach out to me. Definitely reach out to your board, because, as I said, they're in constant contact with me all the time, which is great. And I really wish you the best of 2018s, and let's get this snow off the ground and get off to a good start.
Thank you. Thank you, Noel. Thank you for the representation that you give to us on the national level. And communication obviously won't end. Thank you. At this point in our agenda, in the program, we had talked about doing the panel discussion. During the break, you had an opportunity to put in a question. Unfortunately, no one has put in a question. You got a couple? Oh, you do? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're not going to change anything up here. We're going to leave Alan, Mike, Rob, and I'll be right here. If we have any questions, we'll try to answer to the best that we can. Mike's going to run the discussion. So, Mike, why don't you go ahead? Yeah.
Perfect. We did receive four questions, but before we do that, I just want to just real quick see if I can get a show of hands on a couple things real quick. How many people here? So keep your hand up. How many people here have a smartphone, some sort of a Samsung or so keep your hands up if you have some sort of a social media account, a Facebook account, Twitter, or something like that. So still a lot of hands stayed up. Keep your hands up if you follow any of the New England PGA social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook. So if you don't, be honest. If you don't, put your hands down. So a couple things. What we wanted to do, now you can put your hands down. I wanted to see how many times the hands would go down, because pretty much the entire room has, even Jack Neville has a smartphone now. Even Donnie Lyons used to call his flip phone a dumb phone. But so now everyone has some sort of a smartphone with our app going digital, our membership directory, everything going digital, register for tournaments, our sales rep listing, everything is on there. So what I'm hoping is those of you that have a social media account but do not currently follow the New England PGA, we're asking you to follow our social media account because of the exciting things we're going to be doing throughout all of our social media outlets this year. And what we're also asking, so those of you who do follow us and see some of the exciting things that happen, so tournament results, or we're highlighting a PGA professional, something great going on in the section, when you see that, you know, likes are great, but we want everybody to share it. So if you see us on Twitter, retweet it. If you see us on Facebook, share it out to your network. So we can go from the 7,000 followers that we have following the New England PGA, we can extend that out to your networks as well. So we can take that from 7,000 to 100,000 followers, so we can really share the great things that our PGA professionals are doing here in New England. So A, follow us if you can, and B, when you see something, share it and retweet it. And we want to start with something today. So at some point today before you leave, take a picture of yourself in front of the step and repeat, or one of the officers talking, or you sitting here, or making fun of me, whatever. But put something on your social media page and do a hashtag NEPGA spring meeting. And then the section is going to share that out, and we want to see how viral we can get with this just little exercise. So at some point throughout the rest of the program, do something and please share it. Hashtag NEPGA spring meeting. So with the time being sensitive for the day, we did receive four questions, and I'm going to ask one of them to each of the officers here real quick. And Mr. President, we're going to start with you, if you don't mind. So the first question that we received was, who inspired you to run for office?
Wow, that's a great question. For those of you that don't know, I can tell a little story why I got involved. To be honest with you, these gentlemen that sit right here in front of us are the inspiration for me, have always been. I was invited to the planning session in 2011 by Steve Demmer as a main chapter board member, and really got a chance to see what happens behind the scenes on the section level. And then I was elected district director, and I was at the past president's outing at Jimmy Norris's place at Dedham Country Club in 2012, I believe. No, it was 2013, because that's when I ran for election. And standing on the putting green and practicing, getting ready to go out and play. I think I was playing with Jimmy Lane and maybe Jimmy Tobin. We were excited to get out there and talk to some of these past presidents. And Larry Kelly walked up to me and said, because everybody knows they call me the Beebs, right? I hope you all know that. And he goes, Beebs, he goes, what do you think about running for secretary and being involved in the section? I said, Larry, you know, I'm just getting involved in this. I've been involved with the chapter leadership for a couple of years, but I really don't think I'm ready. You know, I don't think I'm ready to, you know, make the commitment and all that. And he goes, so when do you think you're going to be ready? And I said, well, I like to get my feet under me a little bit and, you know what's going on with the section. And he walked away. And 5 minutes later, National Past President Jim Remy walks up to me and says, hey, Beebs, did you ever think about running for secretary? You got a great personality, you know what's going on, you're a great public speaker, the whole deal. And I was like, did Larry Kelly talk to you and make him come up to me and say this? He goes, no. He said, I haven't talked to Larry about this at all. He said, I've seen you in the boardroom, and he said, I think you'd be a great officer. Then I got in the golf cart, and I think we were playing with Steve Demmer, weren't we, Jimmy? And Steve was next to me, and he asked me the same question. And I'm like, are you guys getting together here and talking about, getting me involved? And it just resonated with me that these past presidents and current leaders had the vision to know that I was going to bring passion as an officer. And of course, I hadn't made my decision. And on the way home, I called my wife. And I said, geez, you're never going to guess what happened. These guys are talking to me about being an officer. And I think some of you have heard this in one of my past speeches. And she said, so that means you're going to be away from the house. You're going to be, going to these meetings and going to all these meetings. I said, yeah, And she goes, go, do it. So that's how I really got involved. And thanks to the leadership in front of us here, here I stand as your president. So that's my story. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. President. And I think you called me after you talked to your wife and said, I think I'm going to run for secretary. Wow, that was great. The next question here, Vice President Belton, I think this would be good for you if you don't mind. The question was the importance of mentoring and how it benefits both you and those you mentor. Hope you're okay with that.
Yeah, no. So I think when it comes to mentoring, I think a lot of us think about golf specifically and the golf business. And when I think of mentoring and the people who have worked for me and worked together, I think it has more to do with life in general. I think there's a human aspect that, we're all working alongside people. We're all in the same boat together trying to get through our days and weeks and months and years. And I think the important thing is that when it comes to mentoring is that you have to care. And I think if you do that and you are willing to share and support the things that you've experienced, because we're all at different stages of our lives, people will migrate to you and ask you questions. And the benefit to me is that I'm still learning from people around me, and as well as them learning from me. But it's just one of the most gratifying things. I mean, one of the proudest things that I can say is, I've been to assistants' weddings. I've been to, their family functions, and that's really what it's about. There's a human aspect to it, and we're all dealing with life. And I think when you do that and you show that you care, to the point where, I've had assistants that have worked for me. After a couple of seasons, you realize, this is not for whatever reason, whether it's a life situation or family situation or, who they're married to, the golf business is not the right thing for them, and helping them exit the business and finding a career. As well as having, a handful of people assistants go on to be head professionals. That's certainly very rewarding. But I think the other thing is, I'm also proud to say that I've had, a handful of former assistants that have exited the business because it was the right thing for them, and they have successful careers and families and And I think that's really when it comes to mentoring, it's not just about golf, it's about life in general and being able to support the people that are around you.
Well said, well said. Mr. Secretary, this question, you touched on it a little bit, but I think it's certainly fitting to ask this of you. It was about New England PGA University, and maybe just to expand on the why, the benefits, and the potential future plans for the New England PGA University.
Okay. So Rob Jarvis came up with the idea. So if there's anything wrong, it's his fault. No, I'm only kidding. So what has really happened with this, and Graham Cunningham is the co-chair of the Education Committee, and the entire committee, we've really seen this kind of almost mushroom cloud in the last, say, 60 to 90 days. And what it's really created is it started out as a branding opportunity, where all of our educational events are going to get branded as New England PGA University. It provided us a second avenue, if you want to call it as such, for our sponsorships. There are some companies that want to sponsor education specifically, and that gave them that venue. It's kind of, as I said, with the mushroom cloud, the committee for the last couple of years has been talking about the use of video and how do we get these education events, like perfect example, I had a visual merchandising event down in Rhode Island last week. How does the person in Bangor, Maine get to benefit from this? So we've been talking about using video for a couple of years. Now with this branding and with the partners' support, we're going to implement the video channel in the fall, and that way, you don't have to drive 300-400 miles to attend an event. You can still get that knowledge and still get that, hopefully that golden nugget, as I mentioned in my speech, that you can then turn around and bring back. And I think it's really given us an opportunity to showcase education and how it betters all of us as golf professionals, betters all of us as people at home, and hopefully allows us to help the section grow and get stronger in that venue.
Great, thanks for the detail. This last one here came in. It says, how tall really is Rob Jarvis? So,
no, 6'6", 205.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
In your dreams.
Yeah, right.
So, Rob, what does it mean to you? I thought this would be good for you. What does it mean for you to be involved? What does it mean to be involved?
Oh, that's a pretty broad question, but just listening to Mike, yeah, NEPGA University was my idea. I was walking my dog, and I don't know what made me think of it, but I started texting. So I'd send a text off to Higgy and Bradshaw, and then Bradshaw just went nuts with it. So he likes to give me credit, but this has got nothing to do other than, hey, what if we called it NEPGA University? But that's when I think of those situations, that's one of the things that I like being involved with is, I was kind of stuck with the Beebs because we're both from Maine, we've known each other a long time, but if I had just stayed in my little remote area of Bangor, Maine, okay, how many people are more than 3 hours away from here? Anybody? 1, 2, wow. I guess I'm unique, okay? I'm 3 hours away from here, and this is kind of the top of the metro area of the section. If I hadn't gotten out of my little hole, proverbially, in Maine, I never would have met Mike, and I never would have met Alan. And those are just two people. And I'm making comments toward them simply because I interact with them probably the most of the people that I'm involved with because they're officers. But the value that it's brought to me, just to be able to share ideas and listen to what they do at their clubs, it's been, you're crazy not to get involved. What it will bring to you, I think I've driven something like 40,000 miles since I was elected district director, worth every mile. It has paid dividends in my career. I've been fortunate. My wife hasn't given me a lot of crap about being away, kind of like Ron's. But it's the relationships that you can forge and the knowledge that you can gain from the people is well worth it.
Perfect. That's it, Mr. President. I just want to say, as the executive director, and serving with the board members and really starting with Jimmy Norris, you know, was secretary when I got hired, and Steve Bell was the president, who's no longer a member of our section, and Larry and the folks up here. The amount of time we spend talking, brainstorming, really caring about the PGA member, it's just really impressive the amount of time that these folks put into just meetings like this and the discussions, and it's really impressive. And I really like this officer panel because it really just shows the wonderful leaders that we have in the New England section. So I just wanted to add that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Go ahead, Jimmy.
You talked about the candidates for national office. You're fortunate enough that super regional still see how it's evaluated. Okay, so, you know, in your own mind, you're going to get together. Would it be beneficial? I think it would be beneficial to all the members if during the process you kind of let us all know what you're thinking. You know, you don't have to pick a candidate.
Sure.
This person is strong here. He does this. He does that. I mean, I think because you know, I know we can go online. We can go online and see the videos of the regionals and so forth. But they have seem you folks are thinking, what you guys are thinking, just to keep us aware of what these candidates represent.
Sure, Jimmy. There are 4 candidates that are running.
It'd be good if you just during the whole process, you just let us know as a representative.
We can certainly do that, Jimmy. That's not a problem. Absolutely. And we'll vet the process and let everybody know what the process is as well. For those of you who don't know, there are 4 candidates. Tom Wildenhouse is from the Southern Florida section. Rick Murphy is from the Carolinas section, no, I believe. John Lindart is from the Michigan section, and Jim Dorman is from the Gulf States section. Jim, Rick, and John have all served on the board of directors nationally. Tom Wildenhouse has served on the board of control. They're all amazing candidates. They all have a vision. They all have a different message. We're not in a position right now to really evaluate Jimmy right now. We're still talking about it. I have phone calls with all 4 of them this week to talk to them about what their vision is and where they want to go. So we could certainly let you know down the road. We're not in a position right now to tell you that there's one guy better than the other, if that's what you're asking. You know, we're going to go through the process and we're going to make it diligent and make sure that that person is somebody that's going to benefit us here in the section. So we can certainly do that. So thank you. Okay. At this point in the agenda, I'd like to recognize our 2017 Player of the Year. As you all know, Rich Barbarian Jr. had quite a 2017, both on and off the course, as we saw in the video earlier. The Director of Instruction at Vesper Country Club turned 30 and began employment at a new facility and got married. You got married last year, Rich? Nice. I didn't know that. Which for most of us is really exciting. I mean, we need to talk, but we won't get into that. On the course, he continued his outstanding play and represented himself, his family, and the New England PGA admirably against the best players in the world. Thanks to his 2016 PGA Professional Championship, Rich was afforded 6 starts on the PGA Tour. He took advantage of those, playing at storied venues like Riviera, Pebble Beach, and made the cut in 3 of his 6 starts, showing he can certainly hang with the best in the world. In June, he returned to defend his PGA Professional title and nearly went back-to-back in Oregon, finishing in the top 5 and securing a spot in his 3rd major and 2nd PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in August. Rich capped off his year as a star of the American team in the PGA Cup. In between all that, he played solidly in limited New England section schedule, and his success at the schedule and national level rewarded him with the New England section PGA of America Player of the Year honors for the 2nd season in a row. Please enjoy, we're going to play a small video. Please enjoy another small video and join me in congratulating him for his tremendous 2017 season.
When he was little, he wanted to play golf, so I taught him how to play, and I was the pro at the golf course, so it was easy. He came down every day and played golf. I put him in the state amateur when he was like 12 years old to see if he could qualify for it. I put him in the US Open qualifying when he was like 13.
I've got to see Rich grow up. He was 8 or 9 years old when I first met him, probably. So I've seen his life story really unfold in front of me. he was able to develop into a wonderful player. And I'm so elated that he's getting this award.
Rich Bavarian Jr. playing into the par 5 first hole. He can reach this green in 2. And he does reach the green. That's going to roll up. That's going to be a makeable eagle putt.
From tee to green, he's got an advantage on pretty much all of us. And then over the years, he's learned to chip and putt and control his wedge game, and I think his thought process has gotten better. And now he's one of the guys to beat.
Rich is an aggressive player. He is not afraid to hit his driver on any hole. He's got that it. Under pressure, he's really good.
I try and learn by watching him, you know, the way he deals with adversity. Things don't go his way, catches a bad break, makes a big number, something that would completely send someone off the rails. Rich just keeps going like it didn't happen.
Rich is, he's destined for really big things. He's learned how good he is.
To win it once is terrific, but to win it twice in a row, that's pretty hard to do. That's quite an accomplishment.
I think it puts Rich on a little plateau that the rest of us are looking up at him right now, and rightly so. He's earned that. It's very hard to win National Player of the Year once, much less twice, and much less twice in a row.
It means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to him too, but it means so much more to me probably because I taught him how to play.
Rich, could you come up, please?
Thank you, everybody. Really, this is for all of us, really. You know, I've had some good moments on the course, but a lot of it comes from everybody in this section also. Just everybody in this room, everybody in our section, Mr. Higgins, McAdams, everybody, all your staff that puts together these tournaments for us to play, the sponsors that you guys get, the members here that allow us to play, you know, all these golf courses throughout the season. You know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of that and all of you. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Obviously a tremendous accomplishment. Congratulations again, Rich, from me personally. At this point in the agenda, we're going to have our esteemed Junior League leader come up. 2017 was a phenomenal year for the PGA Junior League in New England. We were #1 in the number of players, #1 in the number of teams, and we had a team from our section to advance to the national finals in Arizona to represent the New England PGA. At this time, I would invite Brian Bain, our league manager, to come up and quickly update us on the PGA Tour. Brian?
Thank you, Ron, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the board for a few minutes today. It is appreciated. First, I just want to thank everybody in this room that's raised their hand already and already registered and have been taking part in PGA Junior League. I know when Mike has his meetings with the other executive directors across the country, and we're the 8th or 9th largest section, depending on the time of year, it's a feather in his cap, and he's proud to say that our section's leading the charge with PGA Junior League, among other things. So thank you to everyone that is involved. I just want to share some things with you and update you on a couple things. So you can see that number up on that screen there. It's a pretty good size number. That is the amount of money that was returned to PGA Junior League captains in our section alone. So just over $429,000 in 2017. And proud to say this year, moving forward, the majority of facilities in the room have increased the prices based on the improvements that we've made into the team kits and whatnot. So that number is only going to grow, as well as we have more facilities taking part in the section this year. So currently we have 46% of the facilities that green grass facilities in the section are doing PGA Junior League. So we have 182 facilities already registered for 2018. I spoke to quite a few members in the room that are going to be registering as well. So, you know, we're going to be pretty close to over half the facilities in the section are offering PGA Junior League. So we've reached that tipping point that more facilities are going to be doing it than are not doing it. So this is being one of the tools that at your disposal. We have some tools that we can utilize as well. And in this report here, this map is one of them. And that's all of the PGA facilities in the section. And the green and orange facilities are the ones that are offering PGA Junior League. And what this tool does, it helps with the formation of the leagues. I can dial in and click on your facility in this report, and it gives us the census data. So I can tell you exactly how many juniors are within 5 miles of your facility. So quite a few of you are probably sitting on Lamborghinis and you don't even know it. So I can tell you between ages 5 and 14 how many juniors are within 5 miles. I used it at one facility last year. I went and met with the director of golf is the superintendent at the facility, and the PGA head golf professional wanted to offer more than one team at that facility, and the superintendent director of golf was kind of like, we do our part, we raise our hand, we offer, you know, PGA Junior League, and 12 juniors take part. That facility had 20,000 juniors within 5 miles of the golf course. So this PGA member wanted his who he reported to see what the potential was. So I can help you with that data if needed. Proud to say in 2018 there's scholarships available to any junior that meets the financial criteria thanks to Dick's Sporting Goods, their foundation, Sports Matter, and PGA Reach. Scholarships were available, but it was very hard to get them in the past. So now any junior at any facility, if you're a junior of a military family, you can get a scholarship for PGA Junior League. If you're a junior that gets a free or reduced lunch in school, or the family's going through a financial hardship due to medical or unemployment, we can get a PGA Junior League scholarship. So please reach out to me. This is only going to help us grow our numbers, and it opens the door to more juniors to play the game that we all have a passion for. So if you're not doing PGA Junior League, and on your chairs or on one of your neighbor's chairs beside you, there is a list of all of the facilities taking part in PGA Junior League in 2018. So if you're not taking part, I'd love to know what the challenges are at your facility, how I can help you. With as many facilities taking it, we have a wealth of information. We've seen everything that's out there that could possibly happen. So I'd love, if you're not taking part, to find out why we could possibly help you. And all of you have probably been watching golf the last few weeks with Tiger back and playing well. And there's been PGA Junior League what we call bottom thirds on the bottom of the TV on NBC the past few weekends. That's helping drive consumers, bring brand awareness to PGA Junior League. I was on my way back from the Northeast New York section meeting yesterday, and I received a phone call from a parent who is involved with a PTO at a local middle school, and she wanted to know how she could start a PGA Junior League at that middle school. So the consumers are reaching out to us and wanting to get involved, and how can they start teams? All I'm going to do is facilitate with a PGA member to get them in touch with that school. That PTO and that parent is the one that's going to be doing all of the legwork getting these juniors registered. So it is growing by leaps and bounds. And not only that, we received a letter, we receive a lot of letters from parents about what PGA Junior League means to them. And I want to share a quick one we received about a week and a half ago from a parent of a young boy named Dom from the Pacific Northwest. And Dom did PGA Junior League last year. He's on the autistic spectrum, and his father sent a letter to the PGA stating what a difference PGA Junior League has meant not only to him, but to his family, and especially to his son. And, you know, Dom is a very quiet individual, but he's telling his teammates, you know, great shot. They were leaving practice one day. Dom rolled down the window to say goodbye to one of his teammates. The father said he almost drove off the road because his sons never rolled down the window, yet alone talk outside of that window. So If you're looking to make an impact in your community, to grow the game and make a difference, PGA Junior League can help you accomplish that. We'd love to get you involved and help us moving forward. So if there's anything I can ever do for you, please feel free to reach out. My info is up there right now, and I hope everybody has a great season. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. You're doing an incredible job. Thank you for everything you do. At this point in the agenda, we are going to invite our Special Awards Chairman, Honorary President Rob Jarvis, to announce and congratulate our 2018 Special Award winners and Hall of Fame inductees.
Great. Thank you, Ron. I'm very excited to be here to present our 2018 Special Award winners. This year's recipients are most deserving and represent our membership well. It certainly is an arduous process, and my sincere appreciation goes to the awards committee for selecting this year's award winners. Committee members Dave Fanestein, Tony Decker, Zach Wyman, Mark Hartfield, Steve Mann, Jeff Phillips, Chris Colucci, and Joanne Flynn should all be thanked for their considerable contributions and time dedicated to making this process both enjoyable and successful. Dave Fanestein has spent several years as co-chair of this committee, and the ranking process he has created has proved very successful in determining our recipients. He is now going to be stepping off the committee, so even though he's not here today, we all owe him a debt of gratitude for his stewardship of this committee and its vitality to the section. I encourage everyone to nominate your peers in the future and participate in the awards program. These fine PGA professionals will be honored at the 2018 awards banquet on Saturday, May 19th at Kirkbrae Country Club. Please join us and celebrate our section award winners at this wonderful evening. Now, if you would please hold your applause until I have announced all of the 2018 award winners. The Merchandiser of the Year for a private facility is John Fields from Belmont Country Club. Merchandiser of the Year for a public facility is Stephen Clancy from Granite Links Golf Club. Merchandiser of the Year from the resort category is Matt Closter from Woodstock Country Club. The Youth Player Development Award recipient is David Donellan from Hyannis Golf Club. The Patriot Award winner is Vinny Del Zoppo, PGA Life member. Assistant Professional of the Year is Brendan Ray from Point Judith Country Club. The Player Development Award winner is Peter Doherty from the Atkinson Golf and Country Club. The Teacher of the Year is Eric Barlow, recently elected Master Professional from Winchester Country Club. The Deacon Palmer Award winner is John J. Askew of the Ridge Club. The Horton Smith Award winner is Graham Cunningham of Framingham Country Club. The Bill Strasbaugh Award recipient is Adam Hemian from Weston Golf Club. And the Golf Professional of the Year is Larry Kelly from 5 Star Golf Cars. Will you please join me in a round of applause for all of our very deserving award winners. Now, some of you may notice, and I know there have been some discussions about this, the committee did not induct any individuals into the New England PGA Hall of Fame this year. The reason for that being is when we met the process, we felt as a committee, and we were very unified on this decision, needs to be overhauled a little bit. It certainly was not because of the pool of applicants we had, but we felt that now was the time to take a step back, look at the process and reevaluate it and make sure we're doing things the way that we need to be. I've had the fortunate experience of getting together with Jack Gale, Hall of Famer, and Steve Remy and Steve Napoli, and got their insights as Hall of Famers, past presidents, and certainly legends of our section on some thoughts and ideas that we can do to make this process a little bit better, make it more efficient, and make it more clear to the membership how we're electing people. So it certainly has nothing to do with our candidates. We're going to move forward. We don't have anything finalized just yet, but we will soon. So when it comes awards time for nominations, you'll see that new process, and hopefully we can move forward and get some worthy people into the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you for the dedication to the awards committee. The New England section has one of the most active tournament programs in the country. At this time, I would like to invite Tournament Chairman and Tournament Director Max Doctoroff to give the Tournament Committee report. Max, are you here? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hi everybody, it's good to see you all. I do appreciate you all coming down here today, giving up some of your time to get a sense of what's going on in the New England PGA. I'm just going to take a few minutes to go over a few of the things coming up this year in the golf tournament program. Hopefully a few of these will catch your eye, and maybe I'll see you out there on the road at a couple of them. I'll get started with the tournament committee. All of them displayed up there. Scott Hickey, the tournament chairman, Stephen Clancy, Ben Egan, Greg Farland, David Jankowski, Chip Johnson, Corey Mansfield, Jeff Martin, and John Raynone. These guys donated a ton of their personal time to help provide you guys with the best tournament program that we can give you. So, you know, maybe if you run into these guys out there at work or elsewhere, maybe just, you know, shake their hand, say thank you. They do sacrifice a lot of their personal lives to make our tournament program a little bit better. All right, I'll move on to the junior tour. We've got another great schedule lined up this year, thanks to the hard work of JC Settles, who is no doubt the hardest working man in show business. This guy, he's just got a million things going on at all times. So a big thank you to JC for running all these tournaments. I don't know how you do it, buddy, but nice job. Besides providing a great golf program for juniors, the Junior Tour has awarded over $8,000 in scholarships in the past year, and we're looking to be even more productive in the next coming season. JC's been adding some new programming to the Junior Tour to make it more accessible to even more kids than before. The tour now includes 4-ball events, girls-only events. The Bay State Cup has received national attention. It was a huge success last fall, and now they're getting stars from the AJGA and all these other national recognitions. So that's growing, you know, even as we speak. It's only 1 year old. We're really excited to have Avidia Bank, TaylorMade, and Adidas return as Junior Tour partners for the coming season. And definitely need to thank all the PGA professionals who have donated their facilities and let the Junior Tour out there to play. And also the PGA professionals who have donated their time as rules officials at these junior events. We always need good rules officials for the kids, and you know, people to help them learn the rules of golf and learn the etiquette of the game, and help them out as they develop as better players. So if you do have any interest in volunteering some of your time as a rules official next year, please reach out to JC. We always need good people, and it's a good way to get a few MSR credits if you need them, and we'll even give you a free lunch out of the deal. If that helps. All right, now on to the New England Series, which is our amateur tour. We had another great year in 2017. The schedule looks great again this year. We've got all kinds of fantastic golf courses lined up. In 2017, the New England Series had 317 members, which is the largest membership we've had yet. And as of today, the membership is up to 250 players for this coming season. So we're looking to surpass last year's numbers as the tournament kicks off and the snow melts and people start to get a little bit more into golf mode. The New England Series generated $200,000 in revenue last year, with a lot of that money going towards golf carts and food and beverage and pro shop credits, all of that obviously towards the host club. So we're pretty proud to provide a top-notch golfing experience for all the amateurs in the area, and also drive some revenues to your clubs and into your pro shops. So we appreciate you having us as always, and hopefully you're receiving you know, good compensation for your generosity. We do realize that the success totally depends on all the PGA professionals and clubs and boards and whatnot who do invite us back every year and give us access to the finest golf courses all around New England. So we couldn't do it without you, and thank you so much for all you do for the New England Series. All right, so we've got another great season of Pro-Ams lined up. We've got a summary over there. Thanks so much to all the clubs and the PGA professionals who were generous enough to offer up their facilities. These events are a great chance to bond with your club members, bring them some golf courses they generally wouldn't have access to. The section's working with our partners this year to arrange for tee gifts at each Pro-Am event this year, just to make the experience a little bit better for the amateurs that you bring. The Pro-Ams do tend to be some of the most popular events of the season, so just fair warning, there's a good chance a lot of these will sell out, so if you are looking to bring a group to any of these, I would recommend signing up sooner than later, because they are hugely popular. The Stroke Play Series is back. We've got another bunch of awesome golf courses this year. Thanks again to all the host pros who offer up their courses to us and make these events good draws for the membership and a successful tournament program as it has been. We're happy to visit a couple of northern sites this year, so hopefully we'll make it a little easier for all of you from Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine to get to a couple of these. We have a great group of partners signed up to help us support the Stroke Play Series and to help increase prices, put money into the pockets of all of you who play in it. So the sponsors are essential in bringing players and helping you guys make a little extra money playing golf. These events couldn't be as successful as they are without their help, so thanks to all of the partners on this. On a side note, we are still searching for a top-notch site for the Stroke Play Finals. That's the last tournament this year that we still don't have a site for, so if you have any availability in early October-ish and you might be interested in hosting, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about it. This year the section championship's going down to Rhode Island. We've got a couple of awesome golf courses right on the water. It gives local professionals the chance to qualify for the PGA Professional National Championship and gives you a chance to compete on the national stage if you have a good few days out there in the section championship. Special thank you to John Del Bonis of Quidnesset Country Club and Matt Walsh of Warwick Country Club for hosting this prestigious event. We're hoping to book the future section championships a few years in advance, so if you think you may be interested in having the section championship at your facility anytime in the next 5 years even, please reach out to us. We'd love to get those booked out ahead of time and have everything set in stone as far in advance as we can. Just be aware that the deadline to sign up for this year's tournament is August 1st, and you must sign up through the PGA National Office at pga.org. You cannot sign up through us, and the deadline is 3 weeks ahead of time, so make sure you don't miss that. Our other section championships, we've got the senior and the assistants championships. These are two more opportunities for local PGA professionals to qualify for the national championships and are definitely considered to be majors within the New England section. The senior championship will return to Okemo Valley Golf Club, so big thanks to Jim Remy for hosting us once again. It's been a perennial great site for the senior championship, and a big thanks to Stu Cady from Renaissance for hosting the assistants championship. We've had a bunch of great championships at Renaissance the last few years, and we very much appreciate all that they've done for us. If you'd like to play in either of these tournaments, it's the same deal as the section championship. You'll need to sign up through the PGA and the PGA of America at pga.org. And registration closes 3 weeks before the event, so be sure you don't miss out on that. The return of the New England Open at the Quechee Club will be happening again this June. Quechee's been an awesome site for the New England Open for the past few years, and we're really excited to get back there. Hopefully we'll have a little better luck with the weather this year. But we're really excited to get back there. This tournament is 2 days with no cut and a really nice purse, so there's a good chance to win a lot of cash for 2 days of playing golf, and it's a nice getaway for a couple days if you feel like getting up to Quechee and just like a little mini vacation with some good competitive golf mixed in. So I do have to say thank you to TJ Anthine and the Queechee Club for hosting this event and always inviting us back each year. The NEPGA Majors. Once again, we've got a great bunch of host professionals, host clubs, and partners to help us out with our major events here. For the first part of the season, we're returning to our sort of traditional clubs. We're going back to LeBaron Hills, the Bay Club, Pine Hills, and the Haven for the first half of the season, and then we're going to mix it up. At the end, we're going to make an appearance at Haverhill Country Club for the Senior Junior, and we're going up to Wentworth by the Sea for the Head Pro and Teaching Pro Championships. So those will be a lot of fun. One thing you may want to be aware of on these is that they, for the most part, are all pros, so they're a good fun chance to call up a buddy, see if you can both get the same day off of work and have a nice day out playing golf with your friend. Just mix it up a little bit from the individual stroke play type stuff, but the competition's always great in these and they're a lot of fun. Alright, so I'll move on to some of the season-long points race type events here. I'll start with the Wogan Player of the Year. You just heard from Rich Barbarian who won this award last year. But yeah, it's a good way to sort of motivate you to play in more tournaments. You can keep track of your Wogan Player of the Year points as you play throughout the season. Make a little extra money in the fall if you have a good season. There is a bonus prize payout for the top 10 point winners at the end of the year. So thank you to Omega for sponsoring this event, and hopefully a bunch of you will be in the mix next year. The Avidia Cup is a similar situation, however it ends in a shootout type tournament at the end of the season. Thanks so much to Avidia Bank for partnering with us on this again. It's modeled after the PGA Tour's FedEx Cup. You can earn points from good finishes in the Stroke Play Series as well as your chapter championships. The top 54 finishers in Avidia Cup points will compete in the Stroke Play Championship in the fall. There is a normal purse for this finals event, but there's also a bonus payout for the top 10 point earners after the event. So there's another good way to earn a little extra cash by playing well all throughout the season. The 1st and 10th Tee Challenge is another season-long competition where we will we'll tell your scores for the 1st and 10th holes of select individual stroke play events. The Stroke Play Series and the first 2 rounds of the section championship are eligible for this. You need 4 scores to be eligible for the year-end prize money, and the 10 lowest scores relative to par just on the 1st and 10th holes of these events will get a bonus check. And of course, thank you to SCNS Sports Foods, who make 1st and 10th Tee granola bars, for supporting this event again. It's always been a lot of fun, and we hope you get involved with that a little bit. All right, so I'll move on now to the travel pro-ams. Start with Las Vegas, which is just an awesome time. I made my first trip to the Vegas Pro-Am last year. Of course, I was working it, so I didn't even get to play golf, but I still had the absolute time of my life. The golf tournament is awesome. It includes a bunch of social events at night, and we really make a whole vacation out of it. It's a great way to get a few of your members out on the road. We've got an unbelievable lineup of golf courses this year. We got Shadow Creek for the first time, which is super exciting. We're also going to Sienna and Southern Highlands. And this is pretty much the best deal in town for PGA pros. If you bring a group of 4 amateurs with you to this tournament, we'll just give you $1,000. And you can use that $1,000 for your airfare. More or less everything else is included. Your hotel room's included with the entry fee. Bunch of meals are included. You'll be on the hook for a few meals, but after your airfare, you'll basically just have the remainder of that $1,000 to spend on whatever you like. Gamble with it, take it home with you, whatever you feel like doing. Once again, we'll be staying at the Mirage. Just one thing to sort of be aware of is that this, especially since Shadow Creek's now in the mix, I think demand is going to be very high for this one. Only 40 teams are going to be the capacity for this, so if you do want to bring a team out to Vegas this year, I would get in touch with us sooner than later. There's a very good chance this will sell out. And the European Pro-Am. Traditionally, we've gone to Ireland and/or Scotland. This year is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be covering a lot more ground than in previous years, as we'll be doing a tour of a bunch of British Open golf courses. Every course that we go to are going to be past British Open sites. We'll be stopping at Prestwick, Royal Liverpool, Royal Lytham and St. Anne's, Turnberry, Dundonald Links, and Royal Birkdale. So that means the trip's going to start up in Scotland and then work our way down to England to play at all of these golf courses. This is another great deal for PGA professionals to get involved with. It's a similar situation to Vegas. If you sign up with a group of 3 amateurs, you go entirely for free. All of your expenses will be paid, including airfare, food, hotels, whatnot. So it's a free trip to Scotland and England. Can't imagine what's better than that. But this is another one where space is limited, so please reach out if you feel like you might want to bring a team out to Europe. There's a good chance it'll sell out. It'd be great to see all of you there. And that's pretty much all I've got for you. So thanks again for all of you for taking the time to be here today. I hope to see you at a tournament or two this year. All my contact info is on nepga.com, so please reach out to me for any tournament-related inquiries, and I hope to see you out there. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Max, and thank you to all the tournament committees, tournament committee members and the chairmen of the committee. At this time, we will now move to open forum portion of the meeting. During open forum, you may publicly thank fellow professionals, make them aware of upcoming opportunities, or say whatever is on your mind. I would first like to extend the microphone to our past presidents to say a few words to the membership.
Larry, you're first.
Thank you. Just sitting down here for the first time, I'll tell you that we are in great hands. Listening to the presentations by all the current officers and our executive director makes me feel very good about where we are as a section. Good job, you guys.
Thank you, Larry.
I'd like to congratulate all those newly elected members. Great accomplishment. Also congratulate all the awards winners. Have a great season, everyone.
Congratulations also to all of those new members. Great job, gentlemen up front. We've all been there, the people at this table, and we know how hard it is and how much time it takes. And you're doing fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Just to reiterate the same thing, the award winners and the new members, congratulations. Just got one thought. Unfortunately, with all the new members, only a few were able to show up. And this is such an important thing for, at the beginning, for a new member to assimilate into the organization and start to feel comfortable. So a meeting like this is critical, and I know a lot of them have trouble maybe getting here to conflicts, but you know, does the board send out invitations or something like that? Yeah.
Yes, we do, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's good. So just because this is the break the ice type of thing. Okay, thank you.
I echo what my friends and peers have already said to the new members, to the award winners, to Rich winning his second national award. That's quite a feature. To our leadership for the great job they're doing, and hopefully we have good weather in 2018. Everybody has a prosperous season. Thank you.
The only advice I have today is to make sure that you take care of your health by watching out for the sun. Make sure you use a lot of sunscreen, because down the end where I am now, you can see I've been beat up pretty good. I know Joe Card's been beat up pretty good. And it's not that we just didn't know any better, so make sure you take care of yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate the feedback. Now we'll open it to the floor. If anyone wants to get up and speak, please approach the microphone, and remember, state your name, your affiliation to the audience, and ask your question or concern. Second call for anyone to get up and speak. Third and final call. Everything must be great in the section, right? Thank you. I know we all want to get out of here. Before we go, A reminder for those staying for the seminar lunch, the lunch will be next door in the Trumpeters room. Those of the 3 new members that are here staying for the new member lunch, we're going to meet upstairs in the Donald Ross room. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention and attendance at today's meeting. The best wishes to all of you for a successful 2018. And please make sure, don't forget, you need to sign out to get your credits and do that. I consider the meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, folks, I'll be in contact.